Okay, I'm gonna weigh up this steel. This and this is from some other jobs. This is from what we just did. And we got 6 barrels of steel in total, I think. Yeah, this one here is the other one. That's from before. Hey, if the rain holds out, it's actually raining now. And I think we had might have had even a lightning warning. This bandsaw we're rebuilding. Don't want to get wet. Come on, buddy. Probably not a good idea to be hanging wires and playing with cranes and steel in the middle of a lightning storm. I don't know if you can see. It's looking pretty bad out here today. Typical Florida weather. But we're gonna weigh this stuff up, and I need a locking ring, really. I'll have to take one off of the machine right there. So I'm gonna actually repair this real quick. So this barrel clamp for it, it's a Wiseco Industries. This is, you know, a real deal. I think I paid $200 for it. The only problem is these things bend a lot. You can see that? See how bent that is? Sometimes you get a bent drum, especially the steel drums. If they're all bent up, a corner might only be actually catching. And then, you know, you pick it up and it bends. So what I want to do, I'm actually going to weld gussets from here to the corners, because this is like the 3rd time I've actually had to do this. But basically, I'll just stick that right there and hammer them flat again, and you're good to go for a while. Now this thing's rated. This is actually specifically for plastic open top drums. And if you see these holes here, you can undo them and move it in and do 35-gallon drums or 30-gallon, whatever those little drums are. But I'm gonna take a little gusset and just weld it like kind of on that angle to the corners, so this don't happen. It's like the weak point of this. But if you're using this within recommended specifications, which is 1,000 pounds, as you can see right there, you can see that 1,000 pounds. The scale only goes to 1,300, but we'll see where we're at. Whew, 200. I don't know if y'all can see that. But look. See that? That's why, with that amount of heavy steel, really should put a ring on there, because you're oh shit, you're doing something that the clamp's not rated for. So we're gonna get a ring. And now we're dealing with this. Not gonna be a very productive day over here at Project Shop, but we got a bunch of stuff we can play with up here in the garage. Okay, so this is a locking ring. This is for sealing metal drums to lock the lid on. And what I do, I usually have them on these plastic drums, because it either this drum is way, that's probably what it is. This drum is really warped. Oh snap. Damn, that's crazy. Shit. Yeah, you can really see this thing's ovaled out pretty good. Oh, much better. Look at that. And then just run your impact in there. I used to have a whole bunch of these rings. I don't know what happened to them. A lot of times I wind up sending the drum to the scrap yard, and I wind up never getting them back, because I like these plastic drums for going to my customers. Because say you roll up into their office or their warehouse, and you know they got people in their office doing work. If you're throwing transformers down in a steel drum, man, that's like hitting a big old bass drum from a drum set. You know what I'm saying? Sound like a rock band going off in the back shop. But if you throw them down in these plastic drums, it's a lot quieter, and it's a little bit more respectful for the you know, for your customer. And I think they actually look nicer. Like if you put these in your warehouse rather than having like a steel 55-gallon drum, you know, these plastic ones ain't so bad. And at my first shop, I was getting these for free. The guy next to me sold car chemical, like car wash soap. It came in drums. I was getting tons. I could still get tons of them, you know. So that's how I started. I would get these drums, I'd letter them with my name and number, and I'd give them to all my customers, and use shit like this to pick the stuff up. Well, actually, I had those little pick barrels at first. Once I got this, I pretty much stopped using those. Now that we got straight things and a round drum, let's see where we're at. We're actually extended out past this thing. That could be dangerous. Let's see what happens. Keep my foot on it. Oh yeah, she's picking up. Look at that. Woo! There you have it. 1,240 pounds. Just picking the back thing. Look at this thing floating. Yeah, I guess I should extend those legs out. A lot of times when I put the I'll put a boom extension in here, be picking up shit way out there. I'll drop a whole bunch of, you see I got a little bit of counterbalance there. That's what those logs are wood for. I'll slide that wood back and pile some some more weight back here and strap it down. Not recommended. All right, let's slide this down a little bit and see if we can't slide these legs out a little bit. Whoa. Oh, that should do it. Damn, my back is fucked up. I shouldn't be doing this shit. Now that clamp, even though it's only rated for 1,000 pounds, with that ring, it does pretty good. Yeah, I can feel this whole damn thing flexing. Probably not a good idea to jerk it around. Ugh. I was working on loading this shit up, but I got sidetracked with some other stuff. I was gonna try to go to Miami today and sell some copper. All right, now when you're picking up a lot of heavy steel like this, my crane is broke. All right, that's as far as we're going. I always release this. I was sitting there one time moving a whole big old 200-gallon tank of oil around. I had it jacked up, and I did like this, and I stepped back to answer my phone, and I watched that pallet jack just drop. It blew a seal right in front of me. And if you're working around these things, man, it's real easy to get your foot up under there, just moving stuff around. Don't ever do that, man. That thing come down your foot, mess you up real bad. My battery's dead. There you go. Probably not too good for my back right now. Whew. I'll try to get that heavy steel over the axles as much as possible. Okay. Probably get that over a little more. Oh, we probably should put a locking ring on there. Okay. Okay, so this is the one from the 200 Transformers. It's 847 pounds. All right, watch this. So this drum here is not even as full as that other drum. Maxed out the scale, over 1,300 pounds. It's all about, that's probably full of, oh, that's sketchy. It's probably full of small steel compacted in there real tight. Look, that back wheel's off the ground. This whole setup is sketchy. The scale screaming, help me, help me. Okay, let's get this one. Oh yeah, she's struggling. The battery's dead too, so that's probably not helping the situation. 2 more to go. We could probably get it. Oh. Not good when your crane's making all kinds of popping noises. Whoa, shit. Two more. Okay, 823 pounds. Cool. Okay, this needs to come out. Oh, shit. Yeah, my back ain't doing too well right now. Probably shouldn't be messing with all this heavy steel. And you know, I mess around with this heavy ass steel, moving these 1,000-pound drums around all the time. Never really have a problem with my back. I'll do something stupid like reach back here to the side to grab a pair of pliers, just about bring me to my damn knees. It's funny how it happens that way. It's the most minute thing. It screws your whole day up. Sweet. $577 pounds. All right. All right, we're all strapped down, and we're gonna head to the scrapyard. Hopefully get there before they close. as they were offloading me, someone rolled up here and they had busted open a couple transformers, and an old lady and an old dude was like, "Man, did you break all them transformers by hand?" I thought that was funny. All right, let's go get paid. Well, they got a nice stack of steel here. They got a new pincher. I like to see that thing work. See that? That's the type of electric motors I'm looking to get. That's what we're going to be breaking down with that machine. $148. Okay, so here are the numbers on those transformers. We literally had a ton in those 200. So we did the 200 transformers basically in 2 hours. There was 2,070 pounds. Majority of that was number one steel at 1,630 pounds. I got 6.5 cents for it, which was $105.95. Then we had our second contender of number 2 copper at 356 pounds. And I got 332 at the time. This is actually these numbers were like 2 weeks old. I did this and sold this copper 2 weeks ago. I got $1,181.92 out of the copper, and there was number 2 insulated involved in that, which was 24 pounds at $1.02, which was $24.48, and then 85 pounds of cast aluminum at 52 cents a pound, which was $44.20. For a total of $1,356.55 that I produced in that 2 hours. Now, that came from 2 different customers, and that day I know I spent $1,400. I know I spent $900 of it on copper wire, which I still haven't stripped yet, which I'll make some videos on that and show you some more hand stripping techniques. And then and give you a wire stripper update, because I found some more blades, some different blades and some other stuff I've been gathering up. And I'm probably gonna make that thing a 2-speed. Anyway, so I concluded I had $50 in those HID lights and the LED lights. So I'm pretty sure I paid $450 for those transformers. So if we can deduct that from what all that was worth, we come up with $906, which is about right, because normally I triple my money on transformers. So it's kind of in the ballpark there. And you know, we produced $906 worth of profit in 2 hours by myself. Now if you if I would have had 2 people, you know, we could have stepped that up a little bit and done that $900 in an hour, literally. So there you have it. Now I'm not going to get too much into all the costs and stuff, because people are crazy wanting to know like every freaking dollar that was involved. Basically, I'm making these videos to show you guys what I found that works and how much the process will make, and then, you know, you can kind of take it as, you know, whatever you can do to achieve that, you know, with whatever you have available, your means. You know, mine's going to be different than everybody. So, you know, my overhead costs not going to be same as yours. And, you know, it's pretty much my business. I just wanted to show you like the production, you know, what's possible with the machines, you know. And then, you know, you can figure out how much labor you would have involved and stuff. Now, I'm going to show you guys some other stuff. About my granulator. Where's my paper? I got paper around here. About the sluice. So I drew some more stuff. It's getting very interesting over here. Look at that. That's going to be interesting. And so is what's going on over here and stuff around there. Anyway, one thing that I've never really showed you guys is how I plan on moving my material from the bottom of the granulator up to the top of the sluice. Now, in my earlier videos, you can see I was just using a shovel and dumping it in. Matter of fact, I want to show you guys something. Let me bring up the video. And I want to thank everybody. Look at that, 7,280 subscribers. That's incredible. Thank you, every 7,280 of you guys that subscribed. I promise you, I got some more cool stuff coming here. I just want to show you this. It's the second video I ever published on here. All right, so we got to come around. Okay. So, turn this down a little bit. So there's a lot of copper down there. Now the machine, it doesn't just pump it all out super fast. It actually kind of just trickles out, okay? And it's gonna be unrealistic to be dumping 5-gallon buckets this fast into your sluice. Now, if I would just been trickling this in there as fast as the granulator was producing this, which would be way less than that, way less. You know, this is a ridiculous amount of copper being dumped in there in a short amount of time. With the system all running together like I envision it, like on the next setup, there wouldn't be that much copper being introduced into the sluice that fast. So the little bit of copper that would be trickling in there would be immediately washed. And this setup actually did an amazing job at washing that 5-gallon bucket that fast, you know. So that 5-gallon bucket was probably 40 pounds, you know, within a matter of, I don't know, a minute or two that I dropped that in there and it separated it. You know, I would sit there and granulate a whole bunch of buckets down, and then I'd come back and just dump them in there fast and wash them super quick. You know, the whole process, I think drying it took longer than everything, you know. Now, I want to show you, how do I get out of here? I want to show you how I plan on moving the copper from the bottom of my granulator up into the hydrocyclone that I plan on building. And that's what a machine called a chain conveyor or cable conveyor. And I showed you guys a little snippet of a prototype that I was going to build. But basically how this works is you got these round cups on a chain or a cable, and it's just pulled through a tube. Imagine that's all copper, okay? And it's in a trough, and at the bottom of the trough is basically these things coming through. This is how I'm going to move my copper, and I'm going to build it at an electrical conduit pipe, a steel cable, and plastic from a 55-gallon drum. Look at that. I'm just going to have to make the sprocket. I'll wait till you see the drive system that I'm going to make for this. This is going to be cool, and I'm going to try to find plastic or glass so you can actually see it. If I can get acrylic or real glass, that'll be pretty cool. Let's see if I can find some better videos of this stuff. There we go. Okay, so this is basically how it's going to work. It's going to drop in there, and these cups are just going to push it along. And I'm going to introduce water so that the water's lubricating this. And then it's going to pull this right up into a hydrocyclone. Look at this. They're introducing a squeegee so that it cleans it as it goes. That's pretty cool. You know, put 2 or 3 squeegees in there. Now look at this. They're cleaning it as they go. I would have water. Actually, it's going to be introduced into a hydrocyclone, which is going to wash all the copper right out of it. It's going to be pretty freaking cool. That's another way of doing it. But let me see if I can get a cool video. They're moving bottles. Now this is a chain conveyor. This one here, I seen this one. This one got chains. See that? Big old bottles get dropped in there. Now I'm going to just do this on a small scale. And the drive mechanisms that I'm going to use, like these, wait till you see. I got them. I pulled them out of a dumpster. I got them. They're brand new. Some of them are $400 or $500. Some of them are $900 a piece. I got them brand new out of a dumpster. Let's see how they're assembling them. Okay, there's a come on. Let's see. So basically, this is kind of like when I used to wire saw. We used to crimp our wires together when I cut concrete. He's bolting that together. I want to see this thing in action. I'm going to use a crimp, a cable crimp. Hopefully it holds. Or we'll figure something out. I'll have to make something like he's got going on there. Let's see, is this the same video? Let's see what he's saying, if he's saying anything. No? Where's my sound? I guess there's no sound. But look at this. This is like, I guess this is like a demonstration thing. But I would love to make mine and see it would go up there and then drop the material down. Right? And this is probably just cycling it back. Yeah, it's just cycling it back. This is like a demonstration. You can see the cups. Just imagine all that copper in there, man. We're just going to be flowing copper, man. This machine I'm going to build is just going to be unlike anything you've ever seen. And I'm going to try to do as much of it. Whoa, slow down, dude. This guy's coming in hot. Oh, check it out. There we go. So I need to build that. For the past 40 years, and let's go over here and see what's going on. So you can do all kinds. You can have loops. Just look at these things. 90 degrees. That's what we're going to do. We're going straight up out of the granulator, straight up, and we're going to introduce water. Let me see if I can show you. They used to do augers too. Look at that. Yeah, that's how your cereal gets moved around. You know? Through some tubes. They're tubing your freaking Fruit Loops around. It's pretty cool. You can just send this stuff any direction, man. Into the grinders. See that? We're going to go into the water sluice, into a hydrocyclone. I'm actually going to have it come up into the hydrocyclone. So as the water's spinning, okay, these are going to be coming up with the copper, and then the water's just going to blast it right by, and then the heavy copper is going to get pushed against the wall and then start dropping down, and the insulation is going to float up right off into the top, and we're going to run it through like, I'm going to try to make like an old-fashioned stone mill that we can pump the insulation and granulates, or the insulation that is immediately separated. We're actually gonna that's what this is about here. This is gonna separate it down a couple times and pull all that insulation out of there. Let's see what's going. Oh, look at that. See? Oh, we need clear tubes like this. I got to get a hold of these people and find out what's up with these clear tubes. This is probably only for show purpose. What do you call that? Demonstration? Demo purposes only? I doubt that they would put clear tubes in like a factory. Because I would assume eventually they'd get streaked. Like the copper and whatnot would be dragging across it and gumming up, which I think I was thinking if I make that out of acrylic, that I'm gonna run into that issue. I don't know what this guy's saying, but this machine is just awesome. Look at that. Imagine all that's copper, dude. You know, we're gonna have cool things like this, and I've already used. I went to Home Depot and bought some conduit. And how I made it, look at that. See that drum? I don't know what happened there. Anyway, I took a hole saw and I drilled a whole bunch of basically holes in a drum, and I took the little pucks, which had a perfect center hole. See that? That's the pucks. Perfect center hole. I'll put a crimp in front of the puck and a crimp behind the puck, and then I'll make a sprocket with a fork basically to catch the puck and push it along. It's gonna be pretty awesome, and we'll get into that here soon. So anyway, if you guys come this far, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We're gonna get into all kinds of cool things and rip the copper out of everything we possibly can. Now imagine water being introduced at the same time, and there wouldn't never be that much, because as soon as a little bit trickled out into there, these things would just move it right along. And then I would put somewhere up in here, I'd have all kinds of magnets. It's going to need magnets to pull out. There could be steel. There was always steel, but this is pretty much what I'm thinking. And I have a trough that came with the granulator, actually, that I could possibly use. Check it out. See, the only thing I'm gonna have to build is that sprocket. I have gear reduced drive mechanisms that I'm going to use for this, and it's going to be pretty cool. So stay tuned, and if you got any ideas, I'm going to use plastic 55-gallon drums, steel cable, some crimps. The only thing I'm going to have to build is the actual sprockets. I have shafts. I'm going to need some pulleys, and then wait till you see how I plan on powering all this equipment off of one motor. That's going to be interesting. Okay, and if any of you guys are on Facebook, go check out my Facebook page, Project Scrap. If you have anything cool to do with scrap, where you're taking something apart, or you built a machine to scrap, feel free to post your videos here. If you're a YouTuber, feel free to post your YouTube videos here. This guy is cutting brass up with a bandsaw. I'm actually going to rebuild a bandsaw. He was cutting his stator up. I told him he should make some kind of thing like you would have for a table saw. This guy here, Keith, he's got a YouTube channel. Let's see, somewhere on. This guy built a hammer mill for doing computer boards. Now, it's not many. I never really got into e-waste. So I'm really interested to learn all about it. If anyone out there makes e-waste videos, post them up over here. This guy keeps posting it. There we go. Go check this guy out, Keith Rowe. He's got a YouTube called Romanic. Sorry if I butchered your name, dude.
You see that copper?
There you go.
Yeah. You see that big ass chunk of aluminum?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This pool heater. Check that out. So I'm gonna zip
Anyway,
this off.
go check his channel out. He's got some cool stuff going on, and I post all my videos here. And you know, it's just a place to learn about scrap and talk about scrap and show people how to process scrap. Mainly, I kind of want it to be like a catalog of like a how-to for each individual piece, you know, the best way or your way or whatever, man. Just post your video there and let's talk about it. So if you come this far, thanks for watching, and see you on the next one. Okay, so for everybody that asks me where I get my transformers from or how I get so many, this is how I get my transformers. So a typical customer will have a bunch of transformers overflowing. Not all are overflowing, but a lot of times they are. They'll have light fixtures, copper wire, and you know, I'll come up, go out there and hit 2 or 3 customers like that in a day, man. You're doing pretty good.